Sophia sat by the airplane window, holding her small backpack close. Her hands were a little cold, and her heart was beating faster than usual. She was not scared, but she was not completely calm either. This was her first time traveling alone, her first time visiting an English-speaking country, her first time using English with real people in real life. She looked outside at the clouds. The sky was clear and bright. She smiled softly and whispered to herself, "Every mistake is a step forward." That was her personal rule. Every time she felt nervous, she would say these words. They made her feel brave. When the plane landed, the passengers stood up one by one. Sophia followed them, her legs a little shaky. She walked through the airport. There were many signs in English. Some were easy to understand, like exit and baggage. Some were harder, like immigration and customs. She read each word slowly. She did not panic. She just took her time. At the immigration desk, a man took her passport and looked at her. Then he smiled and stamped it. "Welcome," he said. Just one word, but it made her feel safe. She smiled back and said, "Thank you." She followed the signs until she reached the main doors. Outside, the air felt different. It was a little colder than home. She looked around and saw many cars, many people, and many lights. Everything was new. Everything was exciting. She walked to the taxi area. A man in a blue jacket stood next to a yellow taxi. He looked at her and asked, "Taxi?" Sophia nodded. "Yes, taxi," she said, her voice quiet but clear. He opened the door and asked, "Where to?" Sophia froze for 1 second. Her mind went blank. She had practiced this moment many times. Why couldn't she remember the words? Then she took a deep breath and said slowly, "Big hotel downtown." The driver looked at her. "Which one?" he asked. Her heart started to beat faster again. She didn't know the name. She had it on her phone, but the battery was very low. She pulled it out and tried to open the app. It was taking a long time. The internet was slow. "Near Park," she said, trying to help him understand. He looked confused. "Which park?" She didn't know. Just then, the app finally opened and she saw the name. Grand Plaza Hotel. She quickly showed him the screen. "Ah," he said with a nod. "Okay, I know it." She smiled with relief and got into the taxi. The door closed, and the car started to move. The streets were bright with lights and tall buildings. Sophia looked out the window. Her eyes were tired, but her heart was still awake. This was the start of something new. The driver looked in the mirror. "First time here?" he asked. Sophia smiled. "Yes, first time." "Where from?" he asked. "Mexico," she answered. The driver smiled. "Ah, Mexico. I love tacos." Sophia laughed. "Me too." They both laughed a little, and then there was silence. A good silence. A peaceful one. She looked at the street signs. They were all in English. She tried to read each one. Some she understood, some she did not. But she was not afraid. She was trying. Her eyes began to close. She felt sleepy. The flight was long. Her body was tired. She took a deep breath and said, "I want to rest." She said it quietly, like a whisper to herself, but the driver heard it. And in that moment, something unexpected happened. A funny misunderstanding was about to begin, but Sophia didn't know that yet. Right now, she was just happy to be here, in a new place, with a new chance to learn, and with a heart that was open, even if a little scared. This was the beginning of her English story. The taxi moved slowly through the city. The lights outside were bright. Sophia looked out the window, feeling tired but happy. She had made it this far. She had spoken English. She had found a taxi. She had given the driver the name of her hotel. Everything was going well. The driver looked at her through the mirror. He asked with a smile, "Long trip?" Sophia nodded. "Yes, many hours," she said softly. He nodded too. "Tired?" "Yes, very tired," she answered. Then she said something that changed the mood. "I want to rest," she said quietly. The driver's eyes opened wide. He looked at her again in the mirror. "You want to wrestle?" Sophia blinked. She didn't understand. "What?" "You said, you want to wrestle?" He repeated, a little louder. Sophia's heart started to beat fast. "No, no, I said I want to rest." But the driver was already laughing. His face lit up with joy. "Rest, wrestle. Very close," he said, still laughing. Sophia felt her face get hot. She was embarrassed. She had tried to speak clearly, but he misunderstood. Now he was laughing, and she didn't know what to do. She felt small. Maybe she should stop talking. Maybe her English wasn't good enough. But then the driver said something that changed how she felt. "It's okay. Very funny, but okay. I understand now. Rest, not wrestle." Sophia looked at him. He was not laughing to be mean. He was laughing because the situation was funny. He was kind. He was trying to make her feel better. She smiled. "Yes, rest, sleep, no fighting." He laughed again. "Good. Because I don't want to fight either." They both laughed. The tension disappeared. Now it was just a funny story. Suddenly, Sophia's phone screen turned black. The battery was dead. She looked down and whispered, "Oh no." She had no way to check the hotel name again, no way to look at the map, no internet, no help. The driver noticed. "Phone died?" "Yes," she said. "No battery." He nodded. "No problem. I know the hotel. 10 minutes." Sophia looked outside. Everything looked the same. She didn't know where they were. She just had to trust the driver. She repeated her mantra in her mind. Every mistake is a step forward. She smiled again. Even though she had made a mistake with the word rest, she had also learned something new. English words can sound very close, and people will still try to understand you. The car stopped at a red light. The driver looked at her again. "So, you sure? No wrestling?" he said with a big grin. Sophia laughed. "No, only rest." "Okay, okay," he said. "But you look strong. Maybe you wrestled well." Sophia shook her head. "No, I only wrestle with my pillow." He laughed loudly again. "That's the best kind of wrestling." The light turned green, and they kept driving. Then the driver became serious for a moment. "You know wrestling? Like fighting on TV?" "Yes," Sophia said. "Men fight. Big show." He nodded. "My cousin, he is a wrestler, big man, on TV." Sophia's eyes opened wide. "Really?" "Yes, very strong. He fights every weekend." Sophia smiled. She was not sure if it was true, but it didn't matter. It was fun to talk. It was fun to listen. "Maybe you will meet him someday." the driver said. Sophia laughed. No, thank you. I just want a bed. Okay, okay. No wrestling. Only rest. Now they both laughed again. The car was full of joy. The mistake had become a connection, a memory. Sophia looked outside. The city was still new, still big, still a little scary. But now it also felt kind, friendly, safe. She didn't speak perfect English, but she had spit. She had made someone laugh, and she had learned. That was more than enough. The car kept moving forward. So did Sophia. The taxi slowed down. The driver looked around. His face showed confusion. He turned his head and looked out the window. Wait, he said, this is not right. Sophia sat up straighter. What happened? She asked. Your hotel. It should be here, he said, but I don't see it. Sophia looked outside. There were small buildings and houses, but no hotel signs. Her heart started to beat faster. She felt nervous. Her phone was dead. She had no way to check the map or find the right street. She did not know where she was. She felt lost. The driver scratched his head. I think I went the wrong way. Sophia stayed calm. She took a deep breath. She remembered her words. Every mistake is a step forward. She repeated it in her mind. The driver smiled. I will ask someone. Don't worry. He rolled down the window and waved at a man walking on the sidewalk. Hey, do you know Grand Plaza Hotel? The man nodded. Yes, go straight, then turn left. The driver laughed. Ah, I went right instead of left. Okay, thank you. He looked at Sophia. No problem. We're close. Sophia smiled. Okay, thank you. The car started moving again. Only a few minutes later, she saw a big sign in front of a tall building. It said Grand Plaza Hotel in big clear letters. That's it, Sophia said with joy. The driver stopped the car. We are here, he said. Sophia felt so happy. She felt like crying, but in a good way. She had made it. After a long trip, a funny mistake, and a small delay, she had arrived. She opened the door and picked up her bag. She smiled at the driver. Thank you very much. The driver smiled back. Good night. Have a great rest. Then he paused, and with a playful grin added, or a great wrestle? Sophia laughed loudly. No wrestle, just rest. The driver laughed too. Okay, okay, enjoy your trip. Sophia waved goodbye and walked into the hotel. The lobby was quiet and warm. She checked in and took the elevator to her room. When she opened the door, she saw a soft bed, white pillows, and a peaceful space. She put her bag down and sat on the bed. She looked around the room. Everything felt calm, safe. She smiled to herself. Then she walked to the mirror and looked at her reflection. She saw a girl who had been nervous, but brave. A girl who had made a small mistake, but kept going. A girl who had used English in the real world, even when it was hard. She whispered to herself, I did it. Sophia sat down and took out her notebook. She opened to a clean page and began to write. Today I spoke English in a real situation. I asked for help. I gave directions. I made a funny mistake, but I also laughed. I felt embarrassed for a moment, but I learned something important. She continued writing. Words can sound very similar. Rest and wrestle are only a little different, but they mean very different things. Still, People were kind. The driver did not get angry. He laughed with me. He helped me. That made me feel brave. Then she wrote one more sentence. I don't need to speak perfectly. I just need to keep speaking. Sophia closed her notebook and looked at the mirror again. She said out loud, every mistake is a step forward. The words felt stronger now. They were not just a saying, they were real. Later that night, before going to sleep, she thought about all the English learners in the world. Maybe some of them had made mistakes too. Maybe they also felt nervous. She hoped they could hear her story and feel less alone. Mistakes are part of learning. They are not something to be afraid of. They help us grow. They make our stories more interesting. Sophia smiled, turned off the light, and lay down on the bed. The room was quiet. Her heart felt full. No more fears. No more worries. Just rest. Real rest. At last. Sophia's journey started with a dream and a little fear. She wanted to travel. She wanted to speak English. But most of all, she wanted to grow. From the moment she stepped off the plane, she was brave. She read English signs. She spoke to strangers. She tried, even when she was nervous. In the taxi, she faced a funny misunderstanding. One small word, rest, became wrestle. At first, she felt embarrassed. She thought she had failed, but something beautiful happened. The taxi driver laughed, not to hurt her, but to connect with her. That moment changed everything. Her mistake became a memory, a lesson, and even a reason to smile. When she finally reached her hotel, she felt proud. She was still tired, but stronger. She had spoken English in the real world. She had been misunderstood, but she didn't give up. She kept going. Sophia's story shows us something important. You don't have to speak perfect English. You don't need big words or fast sentences. What you need is courage. What you need is kindness for yourself and for others. People may not always understand you right away. That's okay. Keep speaking, keep trying. Every mistake is not a step back, it is a step forward. In life, just like in learning a language, we will face problems. We will say the wrong thing. We will feel shy. But if we keep going, keep laughing, and keep learning, we will grow. Sophia's small moment in the taxi became a powerful reminder. Mistakes are not the end. They are the beginning of something better. So, what can we learn from this? Don't be afraid to speak. Speak slowly, speak clearly, and speak from the heart. Make mistakes, laugh at them, learn from them, celebrate every small win, every word, every sentence, every smile. They all count. If you listened to the whole story, congratulations. You just improved your listening, your vocabulary, and your confidence in English. And you did it by enjoying a real emotional story. Now, let's have a little fun. Here's a small quiz. What did the taxi driver think Sophia said? A. I want to sleep. B. I want to wrestle. Comment your answer below, A or B, and let us know you were listening. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to the channel to support us. Every subscriber gives us more motivation to keep creating helpful and fun English learning content. And if you believe in what we do and want to help, consider making a small donation to support the channel. In the beginning, it's hard to make high-quality content without support. But with your help, we can grow and bring even more amazing stories your way. Thank you so much for being here. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and remember, every mistake is a step forward.